We need more understanding of human nature, because the only real danger that exists is man himself.
Just because you go into knowingness doesn't mean you will suddenly know everything there is to know about a particular thing.
And since you're all here and engaged in this sort of inquiry and listening to this sort of lecture, I assume that you're all on the process of waking up.
I am just broadcasting a live here because I wanted to share something really amazing, really powerful. This is a mindset shifting session. And I believe that we are live now. Yes. Okay. Welcome. We are doing a mindset shifting exercise. And this is something I've called going from rebel to revolutionary, because it's a completely different mind state to be in, and it is a very wonderful process to go through. Okay, so what is a rebel? A rebel is someone who is very reactionary to everything in your life. You react to perceived threats, you react to perceived authorities, you react in a way that the world is determining who you should be and what you should do. And we are very impulse driven. What is a revolutionary? A revolutionary is someone who picks up and uses everything around them and pushes them into, forms them into a direction which aligns with their visions, with their goals, with their ideas. And obviously that's a far more powerful state to be in. So I want to show you exactly what to do to go from this rebel mind state into that revolutionary mind state, and how it can really push you to the next level. Okay, so we're all in the same boat. We all have a state where we usually find ourselves stuck. We have repeating patterns in our life. We have repeating problems that keep coming up, and we can't seem to bust out of this level that we're at. Wherever we're at in life is exactly where we want to be. It's exactly in alignment with who we are at the moment. And there's nothing in your life, even if there's horrible, terrible things that are happening, that aren't in perfect alignment actually with the current state of being that you are holding. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the board here, but at the very heart of this shift, of this movement into a new state of being, you have to first acknowledge the current state of being. Who are you now? Where are you at in your life? What sort of beliefs do you hold about yourself, about the world? That will tell you everything about the world that you're going to create tomorrow. If you believe that you are unlucky, guess what? You're going to create a future that is unlucky. Do you believe that you are completely just apathetic and lazy and you can't seem to break out of that? Tomorrow, you're going to be apathetic and lazy. This is whatever you believe about yourself, whatever you hold close to your heart. That's your creation, what you're going to create. Now, this is how we get stuck, because we can't seem to break through these ideas about who we are, what we're allowed to be, and what the world is. All that culminates into that state of being energy. It's like a frequency. And you're going to be attracting and creating whatever frequency that you are holding in the core of you, in your heart, in your soul. So examining that is really, really important. It's a first step. It's a stage. We need to be able to break out of that. So in order to do that, if you have repeating problems or patterns in your life, first you have to recognize that problem. Write it down on paper. These are the things that keep happening in my life which are no good. These are the repeating patterns in my life that I can't seem to break out of. I keep attracting. I keep getting a certain type of person in my life. I keep getting a certain type of situation in my life. Maybe you keep making money and then coming back to zero. Maybe you can get into a job that you like, but you can't ever get that promotion. You got this repeating cycles that are happening. Write them all down. Make a list. Be real with it. Be honest about, okay, This is simply where I'm at. No shame, no judgment. This is just what's repeating in my life. Once you've recognized the problem, you're going to have to do something really brave. And that is to basically put together a vision for your future that you want, that you prefer. Now, this is really scary for a lot of people because we seem to limit ourselves, right? We hold ourselves back from what we feel like we're allowed to hold as a vision. Forget about reality. Forget about being realistic. Don't worry about that. Put it in the bin, just for now. What that's doing is that's anchoring you to your old life. That's anchoring you to what you thought was possible, and keeps you a prisoner to yourself. You want to be able to basically get a vision of your future if anything's possible, if your best, highest expectations are available to you. Let's say that you could do anything at all. Okay, I want to be a ship captain that runs a massive multi-million-dollar yachting company. Okay, totally possible. Anything that you can imagine is actually possible to you. It just takes a series of events. It takes a series of changes. It takes a series of happenstances and fortune to meet you to get there. All of that will happen if you hold a vision. Really, really important. So define your vision. Okay, so I want to be this captain. What does that feel like? What does my day-to-day look like? What do my finances look like? What does my social life look like? What does it feel like? Invest in this vision. Let it consume you. Let it become a passion. Let it become a fire that rises up from your belly and takes over your every waking moment. You're thinking about it. You're dreaming about it. You're invested in it. Feel the energy, the vibration of it. Once you've got that, you've generated this new vision. And again, as I said, it takes bravery, but let yourself go there. Don't be afraid of the disappointment, because you won't be disappointed. When you have these powerful visions, when you have these powerful desires and dreams and ambitions, nothing's going to actually stop you except for yourself. And you're going to overcome that. Once you've had that, and you're holding this, you're going to start to see your life differently. You're going to start to get what I call the standard awareness. Where are your standards at now? Are they in alignment with that vision? They're likely not. And you're going to start to become more and more and more aware of where your standards are at, what you're doing in your life that's actually holding you back. This is going to be the really difficult part. There's going to have to be a breakthrough in your life where you go from the way that you've been doing things and you've been seeing your life and transition into, okay, my standards have changed now. I've moved beyond this now. And that's a breakthrough. So once you've got your standard awareness and you've started to implement it and made some changes in your life to actually align into the new vision, you're going to start to know some different things. You're going to start looking after your body. You're going to start looking after your house, your amenities, your bills, everything. You're going to start doing them better because you're starting to walk in that path of that new vision. These are changes that will actually reinforce. Every time that you see a problem in your standards and align them to your vision, you're going to lift yourself a bit higher up energetically. You're going to lift yourself a bit closer to your goal and your dream. And your state of being is going to lift every single time that you do it. And then you'll start to see, oh, it's more and more realistic. It's more and more real. I can actually get this dream. I can actually get this goal. It's more possible. It's more possible. It's more possible as you overcome these old standards and behaviors. And that leads you finally to future control. You get to a point where you've overcome so many of these problems, overcome so many of these standards, that you start to have this future control emotional feeling that comes over you. I'm actually in control of my future. I'm actually in control of where I'm going. I can actually break through and do anything. this vision I had, it made me so passionate, but I can actually see myself going so much further than that. Maybe you're someone who owns a fleet of ships. Maybe you're someone who flies all around the world and is basically creating a whole new brand of yachts. You know, you can go so much further than you thought. And as you lift yourself up higher and higher and higher, you get closer and closer to like, oh, wow, I can see bigger. Oh, wow, I can see bigger. So don't get too stuck on your original vision, but let yourself feel it initially. Let yourself feel that passion. And yeah, so this is basically how you go from the rebel mind state into the revolutionary mind state. And that's how you're going to transition and change your entire world. And so I want to share that with you today, and I hope it inspires you. Thanks to anyone who's watching later. Obviously, with lives, it's 9:52 a.m. on a weekday. I'm not going to get too many viewers, but that's okay. For those who watched, thank you so much, and I'll see you all next time.